Thank y'all for joining us. And as all of y'all know, the interest in new landscape plants is very large right now. Many new landscape plants are coming out on the market. It's easily with what's going on with the new landscape plants that you see at the garden center. So we're going to go through about 30 or 35 plants this afternoon. Who knows what Distilium is? Distilium is one of the new landscape shrubs that most home gardeners do not know. It's a good replacement for Indian hawthorn, a good replacement for dwarf yaupon. Cinnamon Girl and Swing Low are two of the real nice varieties in the Distiliums that I like. This picture is at Bracey's Nursery in Amite, Louisiana. These plants are available at your local garden centers, and we have a lot at Clegg's Nursery in Baton Rouge. 2 to 3 foot growers, great evergreen plant, no disease issues, no insect issues, like to be in mostly sunny situations. Prune them a couple times a year to keep the size under control. These Cinnamon Girl Distiliums are at Alan and Nancy Broyles' house in Baton Rouge. They're East Baton Rouge master gardeners. They took out their problematic Indian hawthorns a few years ago and replaced them with the Cinnamon Girl Distilium. So y'all be on the lookout for Cinnamon Girl Distilium, Swing Low, Coppertone, Vintage Jade, and several other varieties of these great plants. You're seeing them used a lot now in the landscapes in the Baton Rouge area. Here's a picture of Swing Low. Swing Low branches low where Cinnamon Girl does not. So Swing Low is actually going to stay a little bit shorter and closer to the ground than Cinnamon Girl will. Cinnamon Girl does have better color on the new growth flushes though. And here's a really nicely pruned Swing Low Distilium in the landscape there. 2 foot tall, 2 feet wide. Some of the other ones are going to be more 3 foot tall, 3 feet wide. Of course, everybody loves roses, and we have a great rose garden here at the Botanic Gardens on Essen Lane. These are 2 relatively new varieties that are performing very well. Plum Perfect, if you want the purple LSU color, it's a Floribunda, very good disease resistance. It's classified as a lavender, but it's close enough to purple for me. Look at the petal count on this rose, 75 petals per bloom. You can see this variety out here at the Rose Garden when you're doing a drive-by. It's just fabulous to look at. And then also another nice rose out there, Savannah. And Savannah has that classic long stem, a hybrid tea habit to it. And it also has nice fragrant blooms. It's kind of a salmony pink or a pink salmon. And both of these plants do have some size to them. They get 5 to 6 feet tall. And so next time you're out here at the Botanic Gardens, look at the roses and check out these two varieties. And there will be more availability of these 2 roses in the Baton Rouge area in the next year or so. Now, the new rose that has the whole country buzzing is the new dwarf knockout rose. It's called Petite. This is new for 2020, new for 2021. We have been selling a few at Clegg's Nursery this summer, but this fall and next spring is when they're going to be more available. This rose only gets 18 to 24 inches tall. It's basically new genetics in the knockout roses. So you can use these in containers. You can use these as a 1.5 foot, 2 foot shrub in the front of a full sun landscape bed and a foundation planting. And the thing about this rose is the flower buds just last forever. The flowers, when they open, are long lasting. So it is in the trial gardens here at the Botanic Gardens, and it's included in some of the new national rose trials. And it is looking very, very nice. So new genetics and knockouts of Petites. It's only available in red, and maybe in 4 or 5 years we'll get some more colors coming in these, but the next generation in knockout roses. And a little bit of a different growth habit than you're going to see in the drift roses. Another new rose is True Passion. True Passion, there's a picture in the landscape here in Baton Rouge. And here is a close-up picture. This is a variety developed by Ping Lim. Ping is one of the more notable rose breeders in the United States today. This rose is available from Altman Plants. And is a new type of rose. It's called a hybrid tea shrub. So it kind of looks like a hybrid tea, but it has the characteristics of a landscape shrub rose. 4.5 feet tall. It's an American Rose Trials for Sustainability. No black spot issues. The theory that roses are high maintenance is no longer true. You can pick out roses that perform very, very well for you and are going to be easy care in the landscape. You all know about the popular drift roses, LSU super plants. There's 8 or 9 varieties of these. The ones that I want y'all to concentrate on are the ones that have fragrance: apricot, peach, popcorn, white, and sweet. Sweet is a double pink if you're not sure what sweet is. All of these are the fragrant ones. Pink and red and coral don't have much flower fragrance, but these 5 do have fragrance. 2.5 foot growers, prune them in late August, early September, full sun, and they're going to do very, very well for you. One thing I do want to point out on the drift roses that we're seeing in Baton Rouge landscapes now. Look at the popcorn drift on the left. You see it has some peach. Well, popcorn originated as a sport of peach. So sometimes you will see popcorn drift reverting back and wanting to be peach. So once a year or so, you need to go in there and cut out those branches that have that peach coloration to them. And then also on your white drift, you will parts that are double pink. This is something that when you're doing landscape drive-arounds in South Louisiana, these drift roses, they look like they have kind of off color in there, and that is what is going on here. So, so just keep that in mind in your drift rose plantings. A new shrub that I have been really pleased with that I maybe this is not going to work out here, Interstate 10 or so, but this is candy corn spirea. It has those this chartreuse and this blush and this pink foliage to it. Keeps its foliage through the winter, very good. Holds up in the summer heat. So these double play spireas, especially this candy corn, is going to be very popular. It's starting to be sold in the garden centers around Baton Rouge, and we'll have some at Clegg's Nursery this fall. Only about a 2-foot grower, and it does have some nice pink blooms. So this multicolored foliage of candy cane spirea may be something that you want to check out shortly. Rose of Sharon's, Althea. The 2 new Rose of Sharon's are the pillar series. There's a white pillar and a purple pillar, and these are they're proven winter plants. What you get on the pillars is you get a very columnar habit. You don't have the floppiness, the horizontal plant habit that you have on your other Rose of Sharon, Althea varieties. These really stay tight, these stay columnar, and they usually start blooming in mid-May, and they usually go till Labor Day for you. So check out these 2 new Althea varieties. I think you'll be very pleased with them. A sunny planting location is what they're going to need. Now, y'all hydrangeas. So the paniculata or the panicle type hydrangeas are the ones that take full sun. And this is kind of where some of the momentum is now in the hydrangeas. Limelight is the one that all of us know, LSU AgCenter, Louisiana super plant. There's one in a landscape, and there's one in front of the orangery here at Burden last year with some redhead Coleus. So limelight is very nice, starts blooming in June and goes till early October. Flowers on new growth as opposed to garden hydrangeas that flower on old growth. So you're going to get a nice long blooming period on the limelight and the similar hydrangea paniculatus. If limelight gets too big, limelight's going to get 6 feet tall, y'all, and I know limelights that are bigger than 6 feet. So you can control the size with pruning, but if you want limelight in a smaller version, you plant little lime. So little lime is 3 feet, limelight is 6 feet. And little lime usually starts blooming 1 or 2 weeks before limelight does. So that is something else that's very nice. So here's a nice hedge of little lime, about 6 plants there in bloom in late June, and they certainly look very nice there in that picture. And then the new range of paniculata from Buddy Lee, our friend who developed the Encore Azaleas, White Wedding, and White Wedding has a very sturdy structure to the branches. It doesn't do the flopping that limelight does, so it's more strong and upright, and it's white as opposed to limelight that's more of a lime and goes to white. This is a strong, clear, bright white bloom, and all these hydrangea paniculatas have that cone-shaped flower head to them. So these, once again, are going to be June to fours. All of your hydrangeas, very important to fertilize them early March in the Baton Rouge area to get that spring growth coming out on them. They really love fertilizer every year, early spring. And then the new addition in 2019 to the Endless Summer garden hydrangeas was Summer Crush. This is kind of a raspberryish red. Depending on pH, you're going to get some flower color changes on the Summer Crush, but Summer Crush is a very nice plant and it's performing very well. There's a nice picture there that shows Summer Crush at Clegg's Nursery either this year or earlier last year. Okay, what about azaleas in Louisiana? The 2 new Encore Azaleas. This is going to be Encore Azalea number 32 and Encore Azalea number 33. So we are really getting to the point where we have a lot of Encore Azalea varieties. Autumn Majesty is going to be a hit because of the purple blooms, semi-double flowers, 3-foot grower. Autumn Starburst with that bicolor, it's going to be more stable than Autumn Sunburst. So you have Autumn, it's Autumn Starburst, and it's going to be a very stable bicolor. Sometimes on these bicolor azaleas, you get a little erosion, and they don't stay true to the flower characteristics, but Autumn Majesty and Autumn Starburst are going to be available at retail starting January of 2021. Okay, any talk is going to have to include some LSU AgCenter Louisiana superplant information. So here's a list of the 2019 and the 2020 winners. Lemon Ball, which also is called Lemon Coral Sedum, a great perennial ground cover, great for the bees. The Firebush Camellia, the variegated foliage lime sizzler. The Cool Season Jolt Dianthus is very nice with 3 varieties. And then this year's winners are the Flamethrower Coleus that I really love, the Lucky Star Pentas, so many great pentas on the market now, a great native plant, the American Beautyberry Calicarpa for the birds in the fall, and then the Louisiana State Tree Ball Cypress is the Louisiana super plant for this fall of 2020. So here's Lemon Ball Sedum. Does well in a landscape bed, does well in containers, does well in hanging baskets. Mostly sun is where you want to plant these, front of a landscape bed, available in 4-inch pots, available in quart pots and gallon pots at the garden centers. So Lemon Ball Sedum, once you have it, it's going to do well for you. Here's a couple of glamour shots of the Lime Sizzler Firebush. All of your Camellia Firebush are very good for the butterflies and the hummingbirds. Full sun, of course. The Jolt Dianthus, Dianthus planting time starts in mid-September. It can go all the way through November, and then you can plant Dianthus February and March, and they'll go till about July 4th or so. So really the only couple of months of the year bad for Dianthus are June, July, and August. The rest of the year, your Dianthus are going to do very good. The Jolt is a smaller version of the Amazons, if you remember Amazon Dianthus. The flamethrower Coleus, so many Coleus on the market nowadays. This is a great new series with 9 varieties, 2 ones this year. You can see the Salsa Verde has the chartreuse, lime green foliage color to it. These are good for sun. They will do okay in shade, but they're not going to color up as well. Flamethrowers are a smaller habit Coleus also, and a great spring 2020 LSU AgCenter Louisiana super plant. And then everybody's interested in getting the pollinators in the garden, and you're not going to get more pollinators than what Pentas will provide. Lucky Star is one of the newer Pentas, LSU AgCenter super plant for this spring, and there's 7 colors in those. Usually your pollinators, like your butterflies and your hummingbirds, are going to go more toward your red, but still the lavender and the pink and the white and the other colors in the Lucky Stars are very attractive to the pollinators. All of y'all probably know American beauty berries. These are native shrub, deciduous. They can get rangy, 6 to 8 feet tall. You can keep them pruned, keep the size under control. Flowers in the late spring, early summer, and then they make the purple berries in the fall. There's also some white berry forms and some pink berry forms, but mostly you're going to see the purple berry forms, and usually these are available in the fall of the year. And then the beautiful fall foliage color of the ball cypress. All these really nice pictures here were taken by Ashley Edwards, who's a research associate in horticulture at the LSU AgCenter in Hammond, and that's around a pond. And ball cypress certainly are one of the most popular Louisiana trees, and is the Louisiana state tree. Okay, I want to get you excited here. I think most of y'all, especially in the Baton Rouge area, know what this plant is, and it's being sold some in Lafayette also. But the balloon flower milkweed, it is not Cypress genus, but it is in the milkweed family, and you can see the scientific name down there on the slide. This is typically going to be an annual. It's not going to be hardy through winter, typically, unless it's heavily mulched and we really don't have much cold below 30 or 28 degrees. But just a fabulous host plant for the monarch caterpillars, and also a very good nectar plant for many, many butterflies. And they make this green hairy ball on the plants in the summer and the fall, and there's seed in there. That's a seed pod, so these are easy to propagate from seed and from stem cuttings. And then another milkweed that is also not in the Asclepias, but it's in the milkweed family. It's the giant milkweed, and there's the lavenderish blue flowering one, and there's the white flowering. Usually these will overwinter in the Baton Rouge area. So giant milkweed, we sell these at Clegg's Nursery. They're very, very popular with all the Baton Rouge butterfly enthusiasts, and there's some out in the pollinator garden here at the LSU AgCenter Botanic Gardens. And this is Joe Pye weed. You don't see Joe Pye weed being sold very much, but just a fabulous butterfly plant for nectar use, and they're blooming right about now, and they'll be blooming all the way through the fall months. So if you see some little Joe, dwarf, Joe Pye weed, think about these. Mostly sunny is where you want to plant them, and the dwarf variety is going to get about 3 feet tall, 42 inches tall, where the regular just species is going to get about 6 to 7 feet tall, sorry. And then just wrapping things up, Vermillion Air Cuthia, fabulous plant. Is not a super plant, but it's certainly being considered. Roman red is a very nice new red salvia. People are looking for white salvia. So new for 2021 is white flame there with the with the bumblebee on it in the top right-hand corner, white flame salvia. That has a lot of Farinaceae in it, but it's new from Ball Horticulture. And then you have the Rockin' Fuchsia from Proven Winners. That has really been selling well in Baton Rouge the last couple of years. And Fuchsia is actually the best of the Rockin' series of salvias, and it is perennial. And then in the bottom right-hand corner, you have Truffula Pink Gomphrena, another great pollinator plant. If you know Fireworks Gomphrena, Truffula Pink is the dwarf version of Fireworks, 18, 24 inches tall, another fabulous nectar plant for the butterflies. So we wanted to cut down our regular 1 hour talk today and do about 20, 25 minutes. I'm gonna just wrap up and take some questions. We want everybody to think about all these new plants. You know, summer's here, what you want to add this coming fall. Check out all these new rose varieties, the Petite knockouts. Think about the fragrance on gift roses. Plant for the pollinators. June is pollinator month. We're in July, but that doesn't mean you can't still plant for your pollinator. We can garden year round here in Louisiana. That's one thing about living in the South, where we can plant 12 months out of the year and be very, very successful. And then we want to encourage all of y'all to shop your local independent retail garden centers. Buy fresh, buy local, buy locally grown. Your local garden centers have your regionally and locally recommended plants. I'm on Facebook personally. I think many of y'all follow me on Facebook, and then Clegg's Nursery and Bracey's Nursery have Facebook pages. If you want to join us, we're very socially engaged in landscape and ornamental horticulture. So feel free to follow us and like us, and we would love to share horticulture information with all of y'all. So what can we plant now as a replacement for spring annuals? You can still plant some perennial salvias, pentas, coleus, vinca, of course, which is also called periwinkle, would be some other good plants to add now. Gomphrena is at the garden centers, will last very well into fall. Celosia, the Anthias are very nice and good for pollinators and do beds this time of year. So a lot of things you can plant, and hopefully in a day or two we'll get some dry weather again and we'll get back out in the landscape. Nice to see everybody today, and we look forward to seeing you again very soon. Thanks, everybody.